President Trump's new acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker vaulted from making $79,000 a year as an Iowa lawyer to banking more than $300,000 a year working for a shadowy nonprofit that doesn't disclose its donors. His earnings at the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust were disclosed in a mandatory financial filing that Whitaker revised multiple times. Whitaker, who previously served as a U.S. attorney in Iowa, went on to become former Attorney General Jeff Sessions' chief of staff before Trump forced out the embattled Sessions and tapped Whitaker, a critic of the Robert Mueller Russia probe. The documents show Whitaker received a total of $1.2 million in income from the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. He got $904,000 from 2016 through nearly the end of 2017. He also received $15,000 from CNN as a legal commentator, according to the documents released Tuesday by the Justice Department. And he earned $1,750 in legal fees from an invention marketing company accused of fraud. The group that gave Whitaker the big payday had been created 2 years earlier as a nonprofit. But it didn't do anything and only existed on paper, a man whose name appeared on its IRS filings told The Washington Post. Whitaker's others prior income-generating jobs included his law practice, owning a daycare center, and trailer manufacturer. He also served on the board of an invention company that was ordered to pay a $25 million fine. When the IRS first approved the group's tax-exempt status, its purpose was to develop unbiased research on how government regulations on environmental policy can impact business. Share this article. Whitaker used the platform it gave him to talk up the merits of investigating former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton while booking TV appearances, where he warned Mueller not to go beyond his brief. The group also went by the name Working for Rights to Express and Communication, and then later by Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. It had a mailing address that was an office suite on Case Street in Washington. The nonprofit group, known as FACT, styles itself as a nonpartisan government watchdog promoting ethics and transparency. The tax-exempt group is supposed to serve the public interest without supporting or opposing specific candidates for office. However, its challenges and its website are focused largely, though not exclusively, on Democrats and their party. Whitaker used his role as president and executive director of FACT in 2016 as a platform to question the ethics of Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. Several news outlets, including the Associated Press and outside groups, had requested the documents after President Donald Trump ousted Attorney General Jeff Sessions and elevated Whitaker to the top Justice Department post on November 7. The documents show that Whitaker began revising his public disclosures the day he was appointed acting Attorney General. He revised the forms 4 more times, including on Tuesday. In a disclosure form Whitaker completed when he joined the Justice Department in September 2017, he reported receiving $1,875 in legal fees from a company called World Patent Marketing. Whitaker has come under scrutiny for his involvement with the company, which was accused of misleading consumers and is under investigation by the FBI. Whitaker also disclosed his partial interest in a family farm in Ely, Iowa, that he valued at between $100,000 and $250,000. The forms also included disclosures of $20,000 to $30,000 in credit card debt in 2017. fact drew its funds from 2014-2016 mainly from Donors Trust, another nonprofit designed to provide anonymity to conservative and libertarian donors. Though such tax-exempt groups can legally withhold the identity of their contributors and generally do so, there may be a distinct irony when a group dedicated to transparency keeps its funding sources in the shadows. Whitaker's appointment has been criticized by Democrats who have challenged its constitutionality and are concerned that he will interfere with special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Earlier Tuesday, the Senate's top Democrat asked the Justice Department's watchdog to investigate communications between Whitaker and the White House. Senator Charles Schumer asked the Inspector General to look into whether Whitaker had access to confidential grand jury information in Mueller's probe. Schumer also wants investigators to examine whether Whitaker shared information with Trump or others in the administration. John Levinsky, a spokesman for the Inspector General, declined to comment on Schumer's request. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, the second-ranking Justice Department official, had been overseeing the special counsel's Russia investigation until Whitaker's appointment. Whitaker is now overseeing the investigation. Schumer and other Democrats have said they are concerned about Whitaker's past criticism of the Mueller probe, which is looking at Russian interference in the 2016 election and ties to Trump's campaign. After Whitaker's appointment, Schumer called for Whitaker to recuse himself from overseeing the investigation and said he would seek to tie a measure protecting Mueller to must-pass legislation if he refuses to do so. Whitaker's past public statements have included an op-ed article in which he said Mueller would be straying outside his mandate if he investigated Trump's family finances. In a talk radio interview, he maintained there was no evidence of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign during the 2016 election. On Monday, 3 other Senate Democrats Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, Mazie Hirono of Hawaii and Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island, filed a lawsuit arguing that Whitaker's appointment was unconstitutional because he has not been confirmed by the Senate. The Justice Department issued a statement Monday defending Whitaker's appointment as lawful. A Justice Department spokeswoman did not respond to a request for comment on Schumer's request on Tuesday. Whitaker touted a new grant while speaking at the Joint Terrorism Task Force in New York on Tuesday. He also praised the man who appointed him, President Donald Trump, as a lifelong New Yorker. He invested in this city when its future was in doubt. He bet on this city, and that proved to be a smart bet, Whitaker said. The president witnessed New York's transformation firsthand. I think that made his support for law enforcement even stronger, he added.